welcome back everyone to Cancer Care Coloring and this week's video with me. I'm Alex, and this week's been sort of busy and a little bit tough on me. Having some issues with a pinched nerve in my neck, so I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about trying to do a drawing video today, sort of leaning over and hunched over the board while working on a drawing. So I've decided today we're going to do something a little bit different. I've been in the process of taking some of the drawings that I've done and turning them into what hopefully will become finished coloring pages that will hopefully eventually become pages in coloring books. So, that takes Photoshop. I take the scans of my illustrations and then I tweak them and do what I'm going to do to them to make them look like they're good enough to belong in a professional coloring book. So for today, what I've decided I'm going to do is we've got this illustration that I did. This was an early illustration, and I was still trying to figure out what the different characters should look like. And so what we have here is a cancer creature sort of getting attacked from all sides. We've got the back of a monocyte character right here, and it's sort of tough to tell what it is, but I'm going to try to make it pop a little bit more to sort of give it an outline that is easier to identify its shape. And then behind the cancer creature, we've got an earlier version of the natural killer cell, and although I like it, it just looks too evil, I guess, would be what I'm thinking. Let me see if I can zoom in here. I don't know if anyone remembers the old movie Mars Attacks, Tim Burton. For some reason, it reminds me of something from Mars Attacks, and I think the eyes just look really off, so I just don't think it worked. So I'm going to lose the natural killer cell. I'm going to lose, this was an early version of, let me shrink this thing down here. This is an early version of the macrophage, and the macrophage is a cell that pretty much eats all the bits and pieces that are left behind to sort of clean up battlefields. So I'm changing him up quite a bit. He's not going to look like this, so I'm going to lose him as well. So I'm going to remove these two. I'm going to give this a thicker outline to help identify the shape of the I might have misidentified this guy before. I'm not sure what I said, but he's the monocyte. Monocyte, macrophage, natural killer cell, cancer creature. So the monocyte, I'm going to give him a thicker outline. Then the cancer creature, I'm going to give him a thicker outline to help identify his edges. And then I'm going to place, I think I might place another cancer creature here, like behind him, and another cancer creature here behind him, like it's three cancer creatures sort of lurking and creeping and maybe coming up on the monocyte character. And then maybe back further, if I can fit him in, I'll put a smaller one of the other character white blood cells. I've got the neutrophil cell that I'm thinking about putting in there. So I'm going to put this on time lapse. I'm really not sure how this is gonna work. It's not a tutorial. It's not a Photoshop tutorial. So it's not like I'm walking through the steps one by one. If that is something that people feel like they would be interested in, please just let me know, because the only way I would know is if people let me know. And let's just see how this goes. I'll time lapse it down and see what kind of time. This is probably going to take me, I don't know, 2-3 hours. So maybe I could whittle it down time lapse to like a 10-minute video, something like that. And then we'll go from there. And when we're done, hopefully we'll have a page that will be ready to say it's finished and ready to go into a coloring book. All right. So I think that's it. I'll get right to it and go.
Shut up and sit down. and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Alright, so looking at this, I couldn't fit as much on here as I was hoping I could, but I think the composition is pretty strong. I'm debating whether or not I need to put a thicker outline around the neutrophil, but since he's further away, it seems like it would make sense to have his outline thinner. Closer they are to the viewer, have the outlines thicker. So I think I'm going to leave him like that. And I think we're good. I mean, that was pretty short. That didn't take nearly as long as I thought it was going to. So, I think that's it. This is another addition to the page collection. So, thank you for taking the time to go through the video, however long this ends up being once I'm done with the time lapse. If you like what you see here and you feel like you'd like to get behind it and support what I'm doing, then please consider subscribing to the channel somewhere down here. And something about ringing the bell. Subscribe and ring the bell. I guess if you ring the bell, it sends more notifications. If you don't want more notifications, then don't worry about the bell, but it helps support the channel. You can follow me on Instagram at Cancer Care Coloring. You can go to the website, cancercarecoloring.com. You can go on to Facebook, Cancer Care Coloring page on Facebook. And finally, you can email me directly at cancercarecoloring@gmail.com. Thank you for taking the time again, and I will see you you will see me next week. Thank you. See ya.